Hi everyone, thank you for joining. This is a level 3 mat class that we're doing where we're going to work whole body, but we're focused in particular on movement, mobility in our hips, opening our hips, strengthening our hips. And if you have the mini ball, great. If you don't, of course, it is always optional, but I'm going to use it under the back of the pelvis right from the beginning. If you don't have it, you know what to do. You just you pay attention to that pelvis in neutral against the mat behind you. But if you have the ball, it always gives you that little bit of feedback. So you're going to come down onto your back to start today on the mat with the pelvis, or with the ball right under the back of the pelvis, nice and centered. And just have the knees bent so that the feet they're not too wide. Maybe you got a width of one of your feet between them, right? And we're just going to do a little imprint and release. So if you're not on the ball, you're in neutral and have that little space behind your low back as you begin. And as you breathe out, you go gently flat with that low spine. And if you're on the ball, when you breathe in, you'll feel the ball sort of pull in and underneath the pelvis. And as you breathe out, there's a tiny roll of the ball towards the heels. Really nice and subtle, but trying to feel that the upper body stays nice and still, regardless of which version you're doing, with the mini ball or without. The knees are no wider than the feet. And the breath is nice and even. So nice even length of breath in. Nice even length of breath out. Beautiful. Good. And then settle into just a nice neutral on the ball or on the mat. And keep those shoulder blades against the mat as you let the arms go up and overhead. Hold those low ribs back. Don't let them move towards the ceiling. And see if you can reach the arms all the way back to the mat behind you. If you're stiff in the shoulders, maybe not. And then circle the arms out to the sides and be wide, wide, wide across the chest here. And then continue right back down by your hips, and we'll do that again. So nice breath in to bring those arms overhead, but holding the rest of the spine in nice neutral. And then circle down and around, being wide across the chest as the arms are out from the shoulders, down by the hips. One more nice one. Just warming up and opening up that chest, keeping the head and neck nice and relaxed. And here, let's bring those arms overhead and leave them there. Unless you have issue at the shoulder, you can always put the hands back down. And we'll bring the right leg up to tabletop. And we'll do a little repeater with that right leg. So lower that right leg back down and bring it back up. Lower that leg down and bring it back up. And we'll do two more. And you're just feeling that steadiness on the ball if you're on the ball, or that steadiness of the pelvis against the mat, and that whole spine staying in nice neutral if you don't have the ball. Switching sides. Lift and lower. The shoulders are away from the ears, but you're long reaching energy out of the top of the fingertips. Yeah. For two. And last one with the left. Perfect. And bring the arms up and overhead. Good. Shoulder blades are wide and rooted against the mat. The spine is in lovely neutral. And we're going to bring the right leg up to tabletop and then the left. And just hold there. Try to feel the abdominals draw back towards the spine. The arms reaching nice energy. Kneecaps, the thighs reaching. Good. And then get ready. We're going to do same arm and same leg. Toe tap. Come back up and switch. Do one more where it's that nice steady, double checking that you're keeping the thighs close together, that you're actually staying very, very still in the spine. No change in the curves of the spine. And then you can speed it up. if you're feeling good, so that you pass in motion and do a little bigger motion with the arms. So a full scissor motion with the arms, those nice toe taps with the legs. And really feel the energy in the abdominals because we're going to need them in a minute. Good. Perfect. One more nice one with each leg, and then I want you to hold when the right leg is down and the right arm is overhead, and you're going to do a little repeater here where you lift an inch and lower for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring it in, switch, hit your position and be sure about it. And then a little repeater, a little pulse for 6, for 5. Lift an inch and lower and make sure there's no movement in the rest of the body. Is that still and lovely? Good. And bring it in. Perfect. Hug the knees in towards the chest, just for a little bit of length in that low back. Perfect. And then bring the hands down just for a minute to bend the elbows and have the palms facing each other. Keep the tailbone down. So if you're on the ball, tailbone is, you're thinking about keeping the tailbone down on the ball. Same thing on the mat. Our cheat is, if we're tight in our hamstrings, when we straighten both legs, yeah, that's what happens, right? You lift the tailbone and you think, oh yeah, no problem. But now the spine is not in neutral at all. So keep that tailbone down. And we'll just warm up the back of the legs with a little pulse, easy legs, sort of bouncing with the knees bent, and then exhaling. Inhale for a few bounces and exhale to get that length. Straighten. And last one. Perfect. Leaving the leg straight here. Good. And we're going to lower the right leg. We're going to bring the left towards us. And you're going to hold it there. And you're going to take the hands and you're going to reach for the back of the left leg, whether it's the thigh, the knee, or the calf that you get. And you're going to draw it in a little bit. And you can let that right leg lower, lower, lower what you can control. And then on your exhale, you're going to switch. Bring the right leg up, lower the left, lower the left, lower the left. And when it gets there, you're going to hold the right leg, either grabbing behind the thigh or the knee or the calf and drawing that leg in to feel a little opening here. Good. And we're going to switch. We'll do that stretch again on each side. So draw that thigh in towards your chest. You're trying to lengthen in the hamstring and the hip. Switch with control. Gently drawing in, listening to the tissues. Just, you're not forcing anything. But just saying, hey, can you open a little bit more? Perfect. And then pull the left leg in. Both legs are straight up towards the sky now. Put the hands back with the elbows bent on the mat, and we'll do those scissors again, and hopefully you'll feel a little more movement. So right leg lowers, left leg stays up, and switch. If you're on the ball, you're feeling that steadiness in the moment when you switch. Same thing if you're on the mat. Upper body's relaxed. For 3, for 2, for 1. Beautiful. Pause with both legs up and open out to the side. Pulse for 3, for 2, for 1. And when you bring it in, you're going to bring the right leg in front of the left. And then open up again for 3, for 2, for 1. And bring the left leg in front of the right here. You're still neutral in the pelvis. Tailbone is still down, right? So pulse for 3, 2, 1. Close it up. 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 Last one with the pulse. And we'll do singles. Open, zip it shut. Open, zip it shut. Still alternating. What leg is in front? Yeah, right? We got 3 more each side. 3, right legs in front. 3, left legs in front. 2, 2 is the upper body relaxed. 1, 1. Perfect. Hold this one open and then just bend the knees so that the toes touch together and open back up. Toes touch together. Open back up. Toes touch. How's that neutral spine? The abdominals nice and flat. The low ribs are held back. The head and neck are relaxed. Yes. I don't need to tell you all that, do I? 2 and 1. Beautiful. Pull those straight legs in. Check that that tailbone's down. And then relax. And let's bring the right knee in towards the chest and let the left leg straighten out. Just to get a little length, because you probably worked very hard in the hip flexors there. And just for 2 breaths where you ease off a little bit as you breathe in, draw the knee in a little bit more as you breathe out, and switch. Gorgeous. Perfect. And bring it in. Lower both legs. Take the little ball out if you had it behind the bum. Good. And have the hands at your sides now. Palms are down. Feet are sit bone width apart. Nice breath in. Exhaling to gently imprint and to peel it up. 1 bone at the back at a time. And at the top, we'll do heel lifts for 8 and lower and lower. Each time trying to get those hips to climb a little bit higher. So squeeze the bum. Feel the pubic bone lifted towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Ground the heels. Take a second and just wiggle the fingertips towards the heels a little bit so you're open across the chest. And peel it down, 1 bone to the back at a time. Beautiful. Take a nice breath in, peel it back up. Lift the hips, lift the hips, lift the hips. Gorgeous. And heel raises for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4. Do you have even weight across the metatarsals, the knuckles of the feet? Ooh, a little cramp in my calf. 1, and lift the hips a little higher, and then peel it down. 1 bone to the back at a time. Gorgeous. Perfect. Let's stretch out the left leg nice and long here, and we're going to do hip circles. It's our hip exercises. And I'm going to give you an option today. You can be relaxed down on the mat with the upper body, especially if this exercise is not your forte. Or for a little bit of abdominal work, you can have the hands behind the head and come up into a little chest lift, meaning you have way less to support you on the mat as you do your circles. So they might be smaller, right? Pelvis stays nice and level, and we're going to aim to do 4 each way. So, and let's flex the foot actually. So on your out breath, come across the body, or it doesn't matter, I guess you need to just breathe 1 per circle. Oh, that's hard. And circle. Try to keep that pelvis level. And circle. Beautiful. And last time, circle. And then reverse. So reach, reach, reach long out of the bottom of your heel to help keep that pelvis nice and still. Do you feel like your circle can get a little bit bigger as you're going? Hopefully releasing the hips a little bit. Yes. And yeah. Good. Perfect. From there, if you can, hold the leg straight and switch. To have that leg straight down on the mat, the other one straight up. Flex the foot. Bring it across the body first. Circle, pelvis stays level. Oh, it's so much easier on that side for me. Those asymmetries. Just always have to work to smooth them out. Good. Pausing at the top to know you have that control. Reverse your direction. For 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Beautiful. And pause. And we want to switch. Nice pointed toes now. Good. I want you to get you relax the upper body down and exhaling to lift and to rotate for 1. For 2. For 3. It's no good counting if I haven't told you how many we're doing, right? We're doing 4 more on this side. 4. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Center it. Switch. And you're going to switch for 3. So you're going to switch. 1, 2, 3. Hold it there. Relax the upper body. Exhaling, lifting, rotating. Pelvis doesn't move for 1. For 2. We're going for 8. Try to feel that you continuously lift and reach long out of the toes, that you hold back with the abdominals, and that you try to climb a little higher with the upper body as you rotate, right? How many more? I don't know. 3, 2, and 1. Center it, but keep the head up this time. We'll switch for 3, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Ease down with the upper body. Lift and rotate for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Center it, but keep the head up. Switch for 3, 2, 1, and ease it down. Lift and rotate for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Center it. Switch for 3, 3, 2, 1. Ease it down. Lift for 2. Rotation for 2. Center it. Switch for 3, 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease it down. Up and rotate for 2. Center it. Keep the head up. Switch for 3, 3, 2, 1. Ease it down. Lift just once. Rotation. Then center it. Switch for 3, 3, 2, 1. Ease it down. Up and rotate for your last one. You made it. Center it. Lower that leg. Stretch it out long. Lower the upper body. And let those arms reach overhead. Doesn't that feel good? So good work in the abdominals and the hips there, eh? Good. Let's come on to your sides. Good. And on our side, we're going to have the elbow underneath us today. And otherwise, we're going to be in like a clamshell position. So the knees are a little bit ahead of us. The feet are going to stay together. And we've done this one before. It's not frequent though. We come into our side plank position. So we lift the hip. Good. When we're there, we lift the top knee into that clamshell, close it, and lower it down. So that's our motion. And we'll do it slow. We'll do it nice and slow, and then we'll speed up, make it more fluid. Think about the ribs being away from the mat, though. Having that open collarbone, the head in line with the rest of the spine so that that shoulder is well supported. And if it's not possible to do the shoulder work today, then you do the clamshell. That's fine. Take a nice breath in. On your out breath to come up. Open the knee, close it, and put it back down. So lift the hip, or lift the pelvis, open, drop, back down. So lift, knees are together, pelvis stays still as you open, close it, put it back down. Stay nice and big in your triangle of space below the rib cage, between the arm, rib cage, and mat, right? Let's do 3 more sort of slow. So lift, open, close, lower, lift, open, close, lower, lift, open, close, lower, and now we'll put it together more fluid. So lift and open, close and drop, lift and open. Try to keep the low ribs back. Vanessa, Lisa, Deb. Everybody think of keeping the low ribs back. For 4. You think of keeping the pubic bone, the tailbone tucked forward. 2. Hold this one up. Just the clamshell. For 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Beautiful. Close it up. lower it down. And then in your side kneeling, come up to sit, take that top arm and reach it overhead. Doesn't that feel nice? Good. And then if you can stay seated like this, let's do it. If you find this too hard because of a hip issue, you can sit cross-legged, move into that position. Good. But we're going to have the arms just straight out to the sides, trying to be even on our sit bones, and we're going to do a little rotation. So nice and tall. Rotation towards, well, it doesn't matter which side first, I guess. Hold it there. Try to squeeze a little more out of it. And back to the front. And then rotate the other way. Try to get taller. And add a little rotation. Back to the center. We'll do 2 more to each side. So rotation. Squeeze a little more out of it. Back to the front. Stay lengthened in the spine. Keep the weight of the head over the rest of the body. Rotation. Back to the front last time. And come back to the front. Keep the arms directly out from the shoulders. And I want you to reach. I want you to keep the sit bone down on the mat, or as close to the mat as it already is. Reach out with the right hand. So I'm doing right. You might not be doing right. Away from the legs. So the arm that's away from the feet reaches out, lands on the mat, wherever you can place it and still keep that sit bone down. And then the arm that's reaching up towards the sky now is now going to rotate down towards the one that's on the mat. And maybe it gets there, like maybe you can reach and rotate and put that hand down next to the other one while you still keep the sit bone down. Or maybe you don't quite get it there, right? Maybe you're a little stiff in the rotation and you end up just reaching, maybe placing it closer to the leg. But your idea is to get that rotation through the spine. And in particular, I feel this one in my low ribs a lot. It's a really nice one. That's not often a hard area to mobilize yourself. One that us osteopaths are continuously working to release on people. Unwind, come up. Let's just try that one more time. So try to be even on your sit bones. Reach a little bit away from your feet. Put that hand down on the mat, and it's got your weight you're supporting. Breathe in. Exhale to get long in your spine, to keep the sit bone on the mat, and to add that rotation. Isn't that a little bit hard and delicious? Gorgeous. And release. Good. Let's swing around to the other side and come down to be in our nice clamshell position with the knees bent. The pelvis nice and stacked. The ribs lifted away from the mat. The head in line with the rest of the spine. Slow and methodical at first, sort of separating each movement. So you lift the pelvis, then you open the knee, close it, and lower it down. Lift, open, close, lower. Lift, open, close, lower. And what are you thinking about? Not what you're going to do after the workout. No. You're thinking about lifting in the ribs, holding the low ribs back, keeping the pelvis nice and stacked as the knee opens. And you're trying to open as far as you can, right? This is a hip opener. You're trying to get that hip, that flexibility and that strength in it. Let's try to do 3 more. 2 more after this, where we're in this methodical, get in position, lift, lower, down, position, open, close, down, and then we'll do it more fluid. So lift and open, and close and lower. Lift and open, close and lower. As you do that, draw back with the abdominals, draw back with the low ribs. Those of you previously mentioned. Good. For 4, for 3, for 2. Beautiful. And for 1, hold it here, clamshell only. Close, open, close, open. For 5, 4, 3. Beautiful. And close, and lower it down. Good. Keep the knees bent, come off the elbow. If you're able to sit like this, great. If not, go into just your seated position, trying to get that sit bone down if you can. That's just a nice, good rotation for the hip. Arms out to the sides, rotation first. So rotate, get long in the spine, squeeze a little more out of it if you can. Back to the center. Rotation. Back to the center. We'll do 2 more each side. And just like all the rotation movements that we do, you're really trying to keep everything in a nice vertical line, right? So as you rotate, don't let the spine get out of that line. If you had a dowel that went through the back of your ponytail, down your shirt and into your pants, that's the posture you have. Good. Last one. Come back to the front. Arms are out to the sides, and you're going to reach. Now I'm reaching my left arm away from my feet, which are to my right side. Plant that palm on the floor and add the rotation of that free arm coming towards the one that's on the mat. If you can keep that sit bone down, great. Beautiful. Yay. And then open it up. Come back up to tall sitting, and we'll do it one more time. Plant the palm on the ground. Keep that hip down if you can. Get your rotation. Yeah. Good. Breathe into wherever you feel that stretch. Oh, that feels so good. Unwind and come back up. Gorgeous. Let's come onto our bellies from there. Okay. And here, we're going to start with some upper body. Okay. So just have the hands underneath the forehead. Feel that pelvis nice and relaxed on the mat. The legs with the toes slightly turned out, but close together. Breathe in to prepare. Out breath to draw in with the low belly. And to float the upper body, including the arms, just a little bit. I want you to think more about getting tall today. So long out of the top of your head. Release it down. Exhale to lift. And to lower. Peel it up. Peel it down. And I say peel up and peel down because that's what you're trying to envision, is that you lift first, the very top of the forehead. Then you lift and lift and lift. And finally, that little bit of your breastbone is the last to lift. And then you return in the reverse. Let's do 2 more like this. Lowering. And you're going to hold this one up. And I want you to be wide across the collarbones. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Lift a little more in the upper body if you can. And then hold that height. Let the arms lower and pick them right back up and have nothing else move. So breathe in, lower. Exhale, pick them right back up. Lower and pick back up. Lower, pick back up. Beautiful. We'll do 2 more. And the tendency here is that as you're picking the arms up, the face lowers to meet the arms. So as you pick the arms up, feel like you lift a little more in the throat, a little more in the breastbone, and maintain that length in the spine. Gorgeous. Lower everything down towards the mat. Good. And bring the feet together. Take a nice breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, you'll draw in with the low belly. You'll leave the arms on the mat. And you'll float up and you'll adjust so that you can put a little bit of weight in the forearms. So I had to pull my elbows back so they're underneath me a little bit. You're lifted and pulled forward in the breastbone. The shoulders are relaxed and broad. And we're going to bend the right knee. And we're going to pulse it. And we're going to add some coordination in our ankle if you can. If it's too much, then just pulse the knee. But if you can, you're going to do toe pointed, flexed, point, and return. Left, point, flex, point, return it straight. point, flex, point, return. The feet are very close together. The knees stay together. The thighs are together. You see that, right? And the upper body isn't moving. And you'll see, mine is a little bit. This is a very hard exercise for me to do correctly because I'm tight in the front of the thigh fascia, mostly from running, but also probably the genetic lottery. So keep the pubic bone grounded to the mat. Release. One more time on each side. So point, flex, point, straighten. Point, flex, point, straighten. Good. If you can stay up here in the upper body and do that, if you're a little bit sore in the spine, you can lower down. But we're going to flex the toes. You're not going to let the pelvis move. I'll be up today. Exhaling. Keep that pubic bone rooted to the mat. Think of being light in the hip pointers, drawn in the low belly. And we're going to point both toes. So both legs are hovering here. I want you to lift the right higher and lower the left and switch. And I want you, as you do this, to make sure the knees stay absolutely straight. So this movement is from the hips. Yes. Good. For 3, for 2, for 1. Hold it here, and I want you to bring the feet together so they touch, and then I want you to spread them apart. Bring the feet together so they touch, and spread them apart. If you need to lower the upper body, that's fine. Bring the feet together so they touch, spread them apart. All the while, that pelvis is staying in nice neutral, so this is a nice little glute exercise. Good. Open, close, and I want you to stay open with the legs, lower them down to the mat, bend both knees so that you can put the heels together. Good. Take a nice breath. Draw in with the low belly, squeeze the heels together, and imagine that you press the heels towards the ceiling so that you lift the thighs a tiny bit. And lower. Keep the heels pressed together, lift the thighs. Isn't that happy hips? Yay! And you could be up in the upper body here. Absolutely up to you. As long as you're comfortable in the spine, neutral in the low back pelvis, strong in the abdominals, so that this motion is coming from the hips. Right? And let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, beautiful, and 1, gorgeous. And then bring the hands underneath the chest. Good. Bend the knees and do a perfect press up. And lower it all the way back down. Good. Perfect press up in slow motion. Check your form. How's that? Even weight on each hand? Maybe, maybe not. Lower it back down. Do it one more time. Exhaling. Beautiful. And then stay here with your nice long spine, the knees, the hips, the shoulders in a nice straight line. And we're just going to do push-ups for 8. So lower down, lower a little bit further, and press it back up. Lower, lower a little bit further, and press it back up. Try to keep the elbows close to your sides. Do that version today. If you've already started with the other one, I guess that's okay. Lower, lower a little bit further, press it up. We've got 4 more. Lower, lower, press back up. Stay wide across the chest. Lower, lower, press back up. Lower, lower, press back up. Good. Stay long and relaxed in the neck. This is your last one. Lower, lower, press back up. Beautiful. And then rock the hips back towards the heels into that lovely shell stretch child's pose. Take your time where you were in extension before this, but then when it feels right, let the forehead lower to the mat. Wrap the hands around by the feet. And just spend 3 or 4 breaths here where you try to take that breath and round the low back out a little bit, creating that tunnel. between belly and thighs. Yeah. Beautiful. Gorgeous. And on your next out breath, rolling it up to nice tall kneeling. Take a breath in, reach the arms overhead, and bring them into your cactus position. And then just do a nice lift of the chest, lift of the breastbone, lift of the throat and the face. Press the elbows back to open across the front of the chest. And then exhale, relax. And there you go. Hope you feel good, ready for your day. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.